For some weeks now, we've been on the topic. What's the topic?
Let us manifest.
Let us
Manifest.
let us manifest. Let us manifest. The Bible says the earnest expectation of the creature waited for what? The manifestation of the sons of God. And we as sons and daughters of God must do what? We must manifest. We started from the beginning, from Genesis. We saw the dichotomy of the cursed and the blessed, and now the cursed did a lot of exploits, but the blessed could only prophesy, walked with God. What other things did they do? Pray. No exploits, nothing to write home about. Canaan was cursed. Eventually, the land of Canaan was a land flowing with milk and honey. The land that God eventually told the children of Israel to go and inhabit. But the children of Israel, when they went to Canaan, who were they? What did they have? Nothing. But Canaan was the one that was cursed. Yet, it was his land that was flowing with milk and honey. We saw the story of Esau and Jacob. Jacob received the blessing, went to Laban's house, spent 14 years. After 14 years, Jacob came back with 2 wives and a few kids. 2 wives, a few kids, had some servants, had some animals. By the time he was returning, Bible said his brother Esau had built a country. He had produced dukes, had a kingdom. And the one that received the blessing was coming back with 2 wives and a few children with some cattle that he fought his master over to collect. And the way he manipulated because of color, whatever. I mean, so what then is the blessing doing in his life? Again, the story of Ephraim and Manasseh. Manasseh was the elder, Ephraim the younger. When Jacob blessed them across the sun, placed the greater blessing on Ephraim. Manasseh received the lesser blessing. At the end of the day, Hosea, Bible talks in Hosea how God began to curse Ephraim. Bible says Ephraim is a cake on tongue, leave him alone. Says strangers have devoured his strength and he knows it not. The man that received the greater blessing. Everywhere God deposits his blessing is expecting manifestation. But unfortunately, the history of the world right from Genesis has been that the people who do not carry the blessing of God take life more seriously than the people of God. Cain, that was called a vagabond that was called a wanderer, built a city, produced mighty men. Seth, that carried the covenant, carried the blessing. In his generation, we only had begatters, and so begat, and so begat, and so begat. Apart from the fact that they were begetting, having children upon children. I mean, so we saw that in the days of one of them, I think it was the direction of Seth. Bible says men began to call on the name of God. The Bible talk of Enoch that walked with God. And Bible talked of the father of Methuselah. Was he Enos, or what's the name of the father of Methuselah? Who released the prophecy and said this one will comfort us of our whatever. And we saw Noah, the righteous man. Talk of exploits, nothing. Zero, nothing. Lamech, the father of Noah. No, a man of faith, and a man that was righteous before God. But nothing to write home about. Nothing to write home about. Even from when Canaan was cursed, the land that was cursed, Ham was the father of Canaan. They were the ones who built the kingdom of Babel. Bible said that it's not even that Bible said their kingdom began from Babel. Began from Babel. We saw all these things already through this series. But the ones that carry the blessing, the ones that God himself commissioned, nothing to write home about. No exploit. And listen, the heartbeat of God is to release blessing in the direction of manifestation. So God is looking for believers, Christians, his children, that will carry his blessing and do exploit with them on this earth. Are you getting what I'm saying, please? God is not going to release blessing on you so that you can go and be subservient to an unbeliever. Then what is the essence of the blessing that you carry? I mean, there is enough in scripture to put you ahead in life. What is the essence of quoting I'm the head, I'm not the tail, and you are still a subordinate in your place of work? When are you going to rise up the ladder of life? I don't know if you get what I'm saying here. For how long will you call that it causes the work of your hands to prosper and you still find it difficult to pass a common quiz, 15-item quiz? For how long will you declare I have a sound mind and you are finding it difficult to remember the first 20 elements? Listen, the things that we find in scripture, they are entirely practical. The way many people practice Christianity is a theoretical kind of Christianity. The kind of Christianity that only works on spiritual matters, witches and wizards and the forces of life, unseen forces. But the truth of the matter is Christianity works in all facets of life. In all facets of life. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Some pastors find it easier to believe God for money to do ministry than to believe God for money to send their children to school. It's error. The same God that you believed in that supplied money to do ministry, why should you not be able to believe Him to give you money to send your children to school? So the pastor believes God money comes from ministry or has wonderful ministry, but cannot send his children to good school, and his children hate his God. The God that is collecting all my father's money. If they say you should sow a seed, you can make a pledge by faith and say within 1 month, Lord, I'm going to give so and so amount, and you believe God and you get that money. Why can't you believe God for your own food? Why can't you believe God to receive money to set up a business? I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying here. I tell you, I'm not telling you theories here. We've seen practical things. Told you of the time I lost some dollars. That was nothing short of God. Just stood up, began to walk to nowhere. Something in my head was telling me, hey, this is how you start to madness. I said, no, I cannot be mad now. But there was a propelling force. I didn't know where that force came from. I think it is that day I understood what madmen go through. Because they are telling themselves, hope I'm not mad. Where am I going? But they keep going. It's a conflict in the mind. That was how I kept going. But something inside me, I was telling myself, no, I can't run mad. It's not possible. I will check myself. No, I'm not behaving abnormal. I'm still okay. And I walked to somewhere and stopped. And walked to the middle of the street. No car was coming, thankfully enough. And I got to a place where there was a pump. And I knelt down in front of the pump. And right there was my envelope with the money inside. I mean, can you call that coincidence? Can you call that coincidence? I've written an exam before. I can't forget that number 36. I can't ever forget it in my life. I was writing an exam. I was on number 90 something out of 100. And I heard the Holy Spirit clearly. Go and check number 36. I felt, is the Holy Spirit going to tell me answer? So I went to check number. So surprisingly, no, number 36 was a question I knew. So why is it helping me to number 36? I checked my answer sheet. That's when I saw that I made a mistake. I didn't answer number 35. I wanted to revisit it. So I answered number 36 and shaded it on 35. And I kept shading. I just kept shading. Now I'm on number 90 something. And the Holy Spirit said, go and check number 36. At that time, it was already like 5 minutes to finish the exam. Which account will you write that one? All the people you have been preaching to. there is excellence, there is greatness in Christ. I don't know if you get what I'm saying here. You must enter what I call the conspiracy of believers. What do I call the conspiracy of believers? In a class, let all the serious Christians gather together and say, in this class, no unbeliever must first us. All of us cannot be first, but whoever will lead in this class must be a Christian. That's one of the things I like Deeper Life for. Have you seen Deeper Life people before? There's a mark of excellence on them naturally. There will be bad eggs everywhere. But I'm talking of the general thing. They know how to arrange properly, and they always, I mean, in UI they had what they call their academic club, and they would gather different departments and whatever, and they were always leading. If you Deeper Life people ask for their GP, you'll be surprised. But it's a mark of excellence on the ministry. Do you know that Pastor Kumuyi had the highest GP since the history of UI? 6.8. The highest in the history of UI ever is the one that has the highest GP, 6.8. Finish mathematics. Nobody has broken that record. Few years ago, somebody tried to break the record. The person has 6.7 something. From the same department of mathematics, and the person is a Deeper Life member. Moved close. Moved close. It's a heritage, and by God's grace, I'm not a dollar. So you have a good heritage. Praise God.
Hallelujah.
We must manifest. I said we must manifest.
Amen.
Listen, why would they call the name of great men and believers are nowhere to be found? Some people say, does it mean Christians want to be materialistic? Listen, this is not about being materialistic, it's about dominating. Be fruitful and multiply, subdue the earth, and have what? Dominion. 3 ways to subdue and have dominion: money, power, influence. Money, power, influence. Money, power, influence. Now tell believers you must not be money hungry, power hungry, or influence hungry, but you must walk your road in such a way that God can trust you with those 3. But listen, it is not about spirituality alone will not deliver those things to your hands. You cannot make money by praying in tongues 15 hours in your room every day. 15 hours. When others have gone to work, am I saying prayer is useless? Prayer is not useless. When you add prayer to your business, you have a divine boost. Are you getting my point now? What many people don't know is many of the people doing great things, there is no throne that is not serviced by an altar. Go and find out. Everywhere you get to in the world, there is no throne that is established without an altar to service it. When people mount up the ladder of life, they have altars servicing their rising. How much will you do as a believer? Leveraging on the power of God. I don't know if you are getting me, please. Or how would you fathom a Christian and an unbeliever have their companies beside each other and they do the same thing, the same business, let's say on the same street, maybe not, let's say on the same street, and they do the same business. The Christian wakes up in the morning, does toothbrush, quiet time. In the morning, he's using the toothbrush to do beats. Some of you even pour water on your body with the beats, and you are singing and dancing. Beyond that, zero prayer life, nothing. The unbeliever gets to his company, before he enters, he smashes 2 eggs on the floor. Who do you think will prosper? Let's not deceive ourselves now. The unbeliever goes to sacrifice 2 cows every month at the shrine. and brings the herbalist to come and do incantations. You, no spiritual covering. You don't even go to church. You are not sowing any seed. I mean, who do you? There was a time that Israel went to battle. I've forgotten which nation they went to battle with, and the battle was very fierce. Israel was really winning. Israel was giving them a hard time, and Bible said the king of that land at a point saw that this battle we are going to lose, and Bible said that king took his first son and took him and slew him upon a wall to his idol. His idol did not answer. It was God that answered. God said, this king killed his first son to his idol. Israel, what have you done for me? And Bible said that God made them to beat Israel to pieces. God himself. See, what you don't understand is sometimes when unbelievers do certain things, God himself will look at you and say, you won. You see. He slew his first son, and God said, if this man can kill his own son for his idol, Israel, what have you done? May the jealousy of God not be provoked against you. But that's not even the focus of my teaching. Let's go back to mainstream teaching now. Last week we began to talk on the assembly of gods and the assembly of God, right? I explained a lot about that last week, and I mentioned that the assembly of gods, they are constantly militating against the assembly of God. You are a member of the assembly of God, but in the assembly of gods there are spiritual congregation of gods and what? Physical congregation of God. I said the spiritual congregation of God or the spiritual assembly, they are the ones who design evil, and the physical assembly will devise the evil. They are the ones who carry out evil mandates on the earth, the gay movement, the high rate of divorce, and all of those things, suicide rates, all of those nonsense. They are the ones perpetuating those things on the earth, and they are constantly fielding people into places of power and of authority. They are fielding presidents of nations. They are fielding people into the business world, into the academia, and all of those things. In Africa, it is the Islamic agenda. In Europe, it is Freemason. In America, it is Illuminati. These things are not jokes. They are moving at a fast speed, at a fast rate. And as it were, they are taking over the world. I tell you, if you are not careful, your children will not meet Christianity on this earth. If you are not careful. Just recently, the governor of Kaduna State in Nigeria, they passed the law already. What remains is for him to sign. And what is that law? No preacher can preach in Kaduna State without a license from the government. And the license is only valid for 1 year. After 1 year, you renew. And you cannot bring a guest minister to Kaduna State except he processes a license for the period that he will be around. Part of it is that you cannot play any sermon outside the religious building or in your house. It is getting serious. If they sign that kind of law, last year I explained to you how pivotal Kaduna State is, right? How many of you remember I explained how pivotal Kaduna State is? Kaduna State and the Middle Belt. Kaduna State is the state where there is equal division, Christian, Muslim. They represent the population of Nigeria actually. If you go to Kaduna State, Northern Kaduna is Muslim, Southern Kaduna is Christian. They perfectly represent the picture of Nigeria. Anything that happens in Kaduna State successfully will be exported to Nigeria, except God does something. Are you getting what I'm saying? There are 3 of those states like that the Caliphate wanted to capture: Kano, Sokoto, and Kaduna. They've captured Kano. They've captured Sokoto. The remaining one is Kaduna State. If they can capture Kaduna State, Nigeria is in trouble. Already we need God. But if they capture Kaduna State, we will need God. If God has a God, may God help us. But today, let me go further in the teaching. So we mentioned the assembly of gods and then the assembly of God. The assembly of God, the people of God, the assembly of gods are on the other end, the kingdom of darkness. Now I want to show you the beginning of the militation of darkness, and I want you to follow me closely. Let's take it from Ezekiel 28. Let's start from there today. Ezekiel 28 from verse 14. Meanwhile, how many of you know that Freemason is in control of the Philippines? How many of you know that already? Freemason. Go and check all the major heroes of Philippines. They are all Freemasons. In fact, if you've seen it before, the Freemason, whatever, they will display their picture like that. And right there, they were all Freemasons. How many of you have seen those things before? The devil is on rampage. But God is looking for people that he can trust with the invasion mandate. People who will go and invade the world for Jesus. It is not just about preaching gospel now, it's about taking over. Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying? Christianity has evolved, I tell you. And God is God. There was a time that Christians could not come out of their houses to say, I'm a Christian. Not a time. Then there was a time that Christians began to come out, but they were not part of the elite. In fact, if you say you accepted Jesus, your family will cry. Finally, they got him. Because saying you are a Christian is as if you have signed up for a low life. So you have become SU. When your mother hears in the village, you will sit on the floor and say, my enemies got me finally. He say he has accepted Jesus in the battle. Yay! It was that serious. Then gradually the next phase was when Christians became very trusted. When you are looking for a treasurer in your company, you go and look for SU. That one will not steal my money. Then Christians began to borrow stupid sense from the world. And Christians lost trust. That was where God wanted to enter from. But Christians allowed corruption to come in. Christians too began to do a lot of atrocities. Then God began to raise men like Archbishop Idahosa to challenge the status quo and bring Christians into the elite circle. God raised men like Babadebo and Pastor Kumi, men that had PhDs, men that had reached the peak of their career, to say, listen, you can be a Christian and be successful. And we have seen it happen. Now we have Christian doctors, we have Christian politicians, we have Christians everywhere. Ministers that are pastors, even the vice president is a pastor. So we are seeing it happen. But that is not where things should stop. For example, the vice president of Nigeria, sometimes about 2 years ago, insisted that he wanted to resign. Why? They were not allowing him to perform his constitutional duties anymore. Just was there as per position. And he said, I'd rather resign than sit here as figurehead. In fact, there was an incident that happened. They had a meeting, National Executive Council meeting, that the president was billed to attend, and they did not inform the vice president. He didn't know about the meeting. All the governors, everybody, the vice president did not know. It was a few hours to the meeting that he got wind of it from the source, and he drove straight to the place. And when he got there, the security stopped vice president from entering. You don't understand that there is a conspiracy. Stop the vice president from entering. They said the only person that can enter, that the gate is locked, only the president can come in. He stayed there till the president arrived. He said he's not going anywhere. They said they will clear his car. He said in this country. Thank God he's a lawyer. Lawyers are stubborn naturally. He stayed there until the president arrived. And they challenged him, and the president said, okay. Only God knew what they wanted to, the plan they wanted to hatch in that meeting. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. That is the sad reality we have found ourselves in. And we have gone to next level now. Good Lord. At least thank God the vice president was retained. In the case of Kaduna State, he removed his deputy who was a Christian and fielded a Muslim ticket, and they won. For the first time in the history of Kaduna, Muslim ticket. Now they are in the center of power. Muslim governor, Muslim deputy governor, Muslim speaker house of rep. The next 4 years is going to be interesting. No, I'm not here to talk. But listen, God is looking for Christians that will go and say, listen, we are coming now. We are coming along. And we are not only coming to hang around. We are not only coming to make sure that you don't hatch negative plans. We are coming to take over all the plans. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Do you know that in the US, there is no decision they will take in the health sector the church must consent? That is why some things have not been able to be legalized in US. That's why some states can never legalize abortion in the US, because the church is a major stakeholder. Hope you know that 20% of hospitals in the US are owned by Christian churches. Not Christian individuals now, churches. Not to talk of the ones owned by Christian individuals. 20% of the hospitals are owned by churches. So before they make any major law pertaining to health in the US, they must get the consent of the church. Because if those guys shut down, the health system will be paralyzed. But we don't have the same in the legal system. I don't know if you get what I'm saying here. How come they were able to pass gay law? Is it not the Supreme Court judges that passed gay law? And then at that time they had 7 of them in the Supreme. How come we did not have Christians there? So Christians are not a major stakeholder in the judiciary system of US, but Christians are a major stakeholder in the health system. I don't know if you are following my thought pattern here. So we are looking forward to a time that Christians, that the body of Christ will be a major stakeholder in every sector of the economy. Why did they ban the reading of Bibles in schools? Because all the schools that the church started have been turned over to government. So the church is not a major stakeholder. Hope you know the tactics they use to make that happen. All the major schools, including Harvard, including Oxford, Cambridge, all turned over to the government. What did they do? The churches were running these schools, secondary schools, universities, and doing well until the government came up with a rule. They had some exams that they administered to the students, and if the students of the school fail a number of times, they say it means that the current administration is not capable of managing the school properly, so it has to be turned over to the government. And that was how the government took over most of the Christian schools. That was the same thing that happened in Nigeria. All the CMS schools. Look at all the state schools in Nigeria now, local government schools in Nigeria. What are their names? Methodist High School, Baptist High School. They were started by the church. Government took them over by fraud. These things, they are agendas of hell. Only few of them you will hear Oribo Community High School and all of that. Most of them Methodist, Baptist, am I right? Anglican Girls Grammar School. All of you will hear Christian names, church names. But there's an agenda. The question is, when will the body of Christ rise up to say we want to take things back now? Now they may have taken those ones and legally the church may not be able to claim them. But can we rise up and do new ones? Look at the state of all those schools now. Are they better than when the church was handling them? No. How many of you will be proud to send your children to public school? I attended a public school. I can't send my children to one. There's an agenda. May God lift up your head. Because like I said, we need Christians that can do more than pray. And when you look at the prayer of somebody, this suffering is in, which suffering? All you are interested in is to end suffering. You have some Christians praying in the morning, let NEPA bring light today. So that's your own concern. A lot of this. Want to iron clothes to go to party tomorrow, so you are praying to God that NEPA should bring light. When we should be thinking of how to send Christians there to go and change things. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The consumer mentality is what is killing many of us. Consumer mentality. We're only looking for how to consume what is already good. We are not looking for how to go there and make it good instead. I don't know if you get what I'm saying here. What problem have you found that you want to solve? What territory have you mapped out that you want to conquer? What field of endeavor will you say, God, trust me with this? Like John Knox said, give me Scotland or I die. That was a man that understood the power of territories. Give me Scotland or I die. And he will stay on his knees and pray day and night and pray day and night. The same way some people were praying for healing anointing. The same way some spiritual people prayed and raised there. He was praying for national revolution. Are you getting what I'm saying now? I've taught before that there are men of inventions, there are men of innovations, there are men of revolution, there are men of revelation, there are men of association. You must find where you belong. It is not everybody that is a man of revelation. There are men of inspiration, and there remains one. There are seven. Men of reformation. You must find where you belong. Is your own field the field of invention? Is your field the field of innovation? Or is God calling you to live by inspiration, or by revelation, or by reformation, or by revolution, or by association? That your greatness is in one of those seven. Your greatness is locked up in one of those seven. Men of invention are people that God will trust to invent things, to birth new things. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Men of innovation will take something that already exists and make it better. Men of inspiration are men that generate ideas. They are God's bank of ideas. Men of reformation are people that God will send to the top to change things from the top. Men of revolution are people that will work in the grassroots and change things from there. The difference between men of revolution and men of reformation: men of reformation belong to the upper class and they start their reformation from there. Men of revolution don't belong to any upper class. They will do everything. I don't know if you understand what that means. They will scatter everything for you. They will cause a revolt and take things from there. Activism is permitted in Christianity, but you must do it with sensibility. There are Christian activists. Then there are men of revelation, men who live by what God will show them. People in ministry generally are men of either men of revelation or men of inspiration. So when a preacher preaches, he's either preaching from the place of inspiration or from the place of revelation. But those are not the only two bands of greatness. Which one is your own? Some people function in more than one. Martin Luther King was a man of inspiration, yet he was a man of revolution rather. And he did a wonderful job. Many of you have heard that speech, I have a dream, right? What happened the first time he mentioned something about his dream for America? He was giving a speech, and I've forgotten the name of the woman. The woman was seated right in front, and the woman listened all through. The second time he would mention it was a few years or a few months after, and the same woman was sitting far at the back. And when he finished, that woman stood up, broke protocol, and said, Martin Luther King, what is your dream? You be shouting, I have a dream. What is your dream? Then he began, I have a dream, and began to give that popular speech. That was what brought it up. Thank God for a woman like that can bring out rhema from the spirit of a man, that can bring out prophecy. Everything that is spoke of them is fulfilled in America today. Can we have men like that we speak of? How many of you know that Martin Luther King was a pastor? He was more than a man of, he was a pastor, he was a preacher, a man of God. Bible talks about the Christians when they got away. Bible said they told themselves that these men that turned the world upside down, they are here. That was how they described them. These men that turned the world upside down. How many of you are ready to turn the world upside down? You think the only way to turn the world upside down is you get somewhere, you just cut everywhere with miracle? They say yes, power. That's not the only way to show the greatness of God. You've seen ministrations where everybody will fall down and all of that and say, yes, that's anointing now. It is not everybody that God will anoint that way. God will anoint some people to go into government. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Wilson, let me ask you, is there anything that a governor can do that you cannot do? Stand up, let me ask you. Stand up. Come. Let me ask you something. Come here, let me ask you something. If I give you paper with state house address, can you read it? You know how to read address, and you know how to talk to people. If they say there is an executive council meeting, do you know where to sit down? You know where the governor's seat is. You know how to direct a meeting. Do you know how to sign? They give you paper, they say sign. You know how to sign. You know where to put signature. So what does a governor do that you can't do? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Listen, there's capacity in every one of us. There's nothing a president can do that you cannot do. I don't know if you get what I'm saying here. So the question is, why can he not become a governor? For what reason? Why can he not become a governor? Why? How many of you have watched Senate proceedings before on TV? How many of you know how to say hi? Can you say hi? Can you say name? Can you say point of order? Can you move a motion? You know how to move motion. You know the meaning of section. You know the meaning of subsection. You know the meaning of constitution. So what is it that they do in that place that he cannot do? Can anybody tell me what else they do? Apart from steal money, you that one. Is it that? To carry Senators don't even carry that thing. It is the if I give you that hammer thing, can you eat it? You can say the eyes have it. Can you say the nails have it? So what is it that they do there that I cannot go and do? That one is the spirit of Lucifer inside there. The stealing, the fighting, that one is the spirit of Lucifer. But listen, there is nothing that there is no constitutional duty of a senator that I cannot perform. So the question is, why can he not proceed in life to become a Senate president? I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying here. Do you know how to campaign? You can say my people, my people. You can say fellow Nigerians, not fellow Nigeria. So what is it that they do on campaign ground? To leave flag. But the way when it's not that he's handy, you can't lift flag. So what is, I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying here. The picture I'm trying to paint to you, please, you can see that there is capacity in every one of us. There is nothing that is done in high places that you cannot do. What does Dangote do? Today, Dangote does not lift a finger. All he does is pick phone call. Mike Adenuga, all he does is pick phone call and run around to all the top men and say, my business, you must give me permit to, you must sign this paper for us, you must, and to pick phone call. Hello, Alpha, is it done? Have you transferred the money? Which of those things can you not do, please? You don't know how to pick call? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Can you read figures? You can read paper and know if they are manipulating figures for you. Can you do math? Even if you can, Mike Adenuga doesn't do math anymore. He employs an accountant. Say, you tell me, are they cheating me? Are they not cheating me? He brings an auditor. I don't know if you get what I'm saying here. What is it that those guys are doing that you don't have the capacity inside you to do? The only difference may be that they have taken life seriously, but you have taken God seriously, but not life. If you take God seriously, your spirit will be robust. But it doesn't automatically translate that your life will follow suit. I don't know if you are following me. Before we read Lord help me today. Is 8:15? I've not even started my sermon. Let me, don't worry, I will go back to my sermon. Don't worry. Let's Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Hey. Lord help us here today. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 9:11 instead. Ecclesiastes 9:11. It says, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift. For what reason should the swift not win a race? If you can run fast, you do not win a race. Should you not? The race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong. What is the reason why the strong should not win battle? Why? And he goes again to say, neither bread to the wise. Why should you be wise and not have food to eat? Nor riches to men of understanding. Nor riches to men of understanding. How many books did Dangote read? Does he have masters? I think most likely maybe he has a degree. but he definitely has no PhD. Do you know that Dangote can wake up today and call someone and say, I heard that they made you a professor yesterday? Say, yeah, don't worry, don't go to work again, sit down at home. Every January 1, I will pay you 1 year salary up front. In fact, I will pay you 10 years straight. Don't go to, just sit down. Don't go anywhere again. Stay in your house and you will pay you. Riches not to men of understanding. Why? So it means that there are capacities inside people that are not yielding results. It is not the smartest kid that becomes the richest among the classmates. If you have grown up to a level, you would have realized that one, right? Even you will do it from class captain. It is not first position that usually get class captain most of the times. I'm going somewhere. The race is not to the swift in this life. Oh. Mumeresa. There are things don't penny cost. You can know how to run for something before you die. I don't know if you get what I'm saying here. A man may be strong but lack weapon. It's not only about strength. Say no riches to men of understanding, nor favor to men of skill. Why should you have skill and you don't have favor? Do you know the meaning of that? There are two hairdressers. This one is the best, yet has no customer. Why? People that collect government contracts in Nigeria today, are they the ones that do the job? In fact, they already have a job. Their job is contractor. So he gets contract and sublets the contract. Those ones too sublet, and then those ones too. So by the time he gets to the man of skill, all the profits. Yet one man that is doing absolutely nothing sees that at home and gets the major cut. Favor is not to the man of skill. How? How will they leave someone that knows how to get the job done? Brethren, it is not only in Nigeria that there is corruption. Philippines, corruption there. I saw corruption. Not far from this office, I saw corruption. Just on the way to the Barangay. You can check what I'm saying. He's there. There is. Good Lord, help me. There is a school there. You know that school? They are building something there, right? Check the billboard there. They say they are building 4-story building of classroom. And the amount for the contract is 38 million pesos. For 4-story building of classroom. 38 million pesos is about 280 million naira. For 4-story building, 280 million. Classroom. What are they putting there? What is classroom? Not office complex that you will have to equip with all sorts of things. Classroom. Abraham will not see the work. How long have they been doing it? 38 million pesos. And look at all the laborers on that site. You know that those guys are suffering. Look at those guys. They look older than their age. You need to talk to some of them. I've spoken with some of those guys. They will look like they're in their 70s. Some of them are 40 something. I tell you, go and ask. Go. You see some of them, all their teeth are gone, all their teeth gone. You ask, he says it's 42. He is the man of skill, yet he's not the man of favor. Look at these things happening. What does Bible say? But time and chance. May time and chance happen to you. Time and chance. May God give you a chance. May God open doors of opportunity to you. Time and chance. And there is something called timing. Timing. One guy was talking recently. He said, I like the way he started it. He said, your boy messed up big time. So this your boy, what did your boy do that messed up big time? He said your boy graduated best student from university, first class. He said your boy had interviews with 3 top oil companies in this country. He now wrote, he said, guess who flopped them all? Your boy. Why? He said he practically did not prepare for those interviews. He just felt, I'm brilliant, I'm good, just get there. Did big boy enter? We harassed them with my results. Lost the opportunity. Now he's working a small job, trying to do masters to make sure that except there's a resurrection of time and chance, he may miss it for life. And keep telling stories of how he had interview. How many people have the opportunity to interview with 3 top oil companies? Let's say you applied, and Chevron, Shell, and which other one now? Look at. Those ones are local ones. ExxonMobil. Now we are talking. So ExxonMobil, Chevron, and Shell call you for interview. How many people have that kind of opportunity? That is chance. Are you getting my point? Time and chance happened to them all. Look at the next verse 12. What does it say? The problem. You see the problem now. What does verse 12 say, beloved? Man does not know his time. May you know your time. Amen. I say, may you know your time. Amen. You don't understand. Bible talks about the children of Issachar. Bible said these were the ones that had the understanding of the times. They knew when Israel should go to battle. So when they say man does not know his time, it means you know what time is right. You know the time to pray. You know the time to walk. You know the time to read your Bible. You know the time to read your book. You know the time to apply for job. You know the time to go and do research. You have an understanding of the time. Those are the Christians that can make something good out of their lives. Not the one that gets to job and is reading Habakkuk chapter 3 on office table, when you should be treating office files. So after 2 years, they didn't promote you. You say it's the devil. It's not the devil. You are the devil behind your own case. You too, if you are a boss, you are passing by in the office and you saw your staff reading Bible instead of you will promote him. Say he's a good Christian. Is this Christianity that we treat the vice and move the company forward? May time and chance happen to you. Amen. Spiritual father told the story. Said one guy came to him one time and said, I'm looking for a job. I've applied to this company. Hey! He said, I applied to, and that is my dream job. He said his faith rose up. He laid hands on him and said, you get the job in Jesus' name. The guy said, amen. And when he submitted letter, he said about a month after, he was passing by the area and he saw the guy. I said, how far? How is the job? The guy said that they didn't give me, but I'm applying again because you said I will get the job. He said it's hard, first of all, sir. He said after a few months, he passed by there and said, how far is the job? The guy said, sir, they didn't give me, but I'm still applying. How? He said after about 4 times, that the guy said, he stopped asking. He said, we just greet the guy. I'll quickly pass. Let's they call me a false prophet. He said one day, he passed by again and greeted the guy. He said it was the guy that now called him and said, Pastor, you didn't ask about the job again. Sorry, he skipped my mind. Alpha. He said, I didn't get the job. He said, don't worry. God. He said, for example, it doesn't matter again. I don't need the job. He said, what? He said, I bought the company. He said, look at him. He said, wait. Maybe I didn't. I didn't hear you well. He said, first of all, turn around and say, you did what? Say, I bought the company. How did he buy the company? He said the company entered into a crisis and they were up for sale. And he said, funny enough, the people that decided to buy, 3 of them were his friends. So he heard from one saying, I'm into this deal, there's this company. Then he heard another friend talk about, and then the third friend, so he got and discovered that 3 of them were business partners that wanted to buy the company together. He said, me too, I'm your friend now. Yeah, but you don't have money. He said, what are friends for? Now joy has him back. So they included his name and said, don't worry, what will happen is as profits come in, you will pay us our own capital there, everybody will have equal share. That's how he became a shareholder in a company where he had submitted CV severally and they didn't give him job. May time and chance happen to you. Amen. That is how some Christians don't understand their time. So after they have prayed for him, he applied to the job. He applied for the job. They didn't give him. He said nonsense prophecy. That's how they keep deceiving everybody. That's how he would have missed this miracle. He only had to understand what? Timing. May you not miss your auspicious time in life. Amen. There's an auspicious time to start business. There's an auspicious time to get married. There's an auspicious time to have your children. Are you getting what I'm saying now? A man that starts having children at 60 has missed a lot. And then whatever God has called you into, you must start doing it before you are 30. If it is business, make sure you are on the path before you hit 30. If it is ministry, step into it before you hit 30. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Whatever it is, by 30, your foot must be on the grounds of your destiny. Are you getting what I'm saying here? Joseph became prime minister at what age? 30. David was anointed king over the Holy Spirit at what age? 30. Jesus entered into his public ministry at what age? 30. What is your own excuse by? Even God, when he came to the earth, he must do something by 30. What will you say is your own excuse? Talo video. Who will you say you are looking like? You see some 30-year-old man still dressing like Nigaro, wearing his cap face back with short knicker and big boots, and he's bouncing like frog. At 30, you don't know what is good for you. You are still plating. Good luck. Plating here at 30, bouncing around, still using all these nonsense slangs and jumping around. Life is passing by. Gowon became head of state at 27. What are you doing with your life? 27. He was not even married. It was when he became head of state that they packaged one of his girlfriend and said, oh yeah, bring one of those babes, you to come and marry. At 27, you will examine your age. So maybe that was you 2 years ago, or that was you 2 years time. You look at your life with the way you are doing your life. If you are not yet 27, what will you become at 27 with the way you are doing your life? Where will you be at 27? You still be loafing around, dancing palungo. Yeah, true, life has been very fair to some people. But listen, even if life has not been that fair to you, you make sure you are doing something and you are on your way to somewhere. Are you getting what I'm saying here? Let's say you by 27, you are not even close to becoming local government chairman. But what journey are you on? Like, what are you doing with your life? Do you have hope? You know, it is possible you are not there, but you have hope. And it is possible you are not there, and there is no hope. And what's the hope for someone that 27 is still looking for admission? You see, life has not been so fair to it. Hey, if life has not been fair, you better make it fair on time. But don't delay it. If it is ancestral battle, go and fight it now. Life is not waiting for you. On Living Stones, I was teaching the other day. I said people say time is going. Time is not going anywhere. Time does not die. Time does not finish. Time is eternal. It will continue. It is you that you are going. You. Time is not going anywhere. It is you. You came. You made time. You will live. It is your own life that is going. Time will not finish. It is your life that you won't die. Grow old as you like. One day you will go. So it is you that you are going. Time is say, yeah, time is going. Time is going. Say, I am going. I am going. So stop running the race against time. It's a stupid race. You can never win it. Run the race against yourself. What are you doing with you? Can't waste time. There's nobody has the capacity to waste time. God is generous with time, but you can waste your life. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. You can waste your life. What are you doing to make sure that you don't waste your own life? What are you doing to make sure your life counts on this earth? What are you doing to make sure that you don't fall on the negative side of the ledger of heaven? That you are not a loss on the economy of heaven? What are you doing? I want to pray. If time has left you behind, may God give you the grace to catch up. Amen. That is one of the greatest prayer you can ever be prayed for in your life. There is something that is called the restoration of lost years. Bible says, I will restore the years that the locust, the palmer one, the cankerworm has eaten. So I will restore those years. I want to pray for you. Let there be restoration of lost years. Amen. Every year that you have lost in your life, let them be restored to you in multiple folds. Amen. There is grace to catch up. Pastor Kumuyi is just a year older than Pastor Adeboye. Listen, the year that Pastor Kumuyi started ministry was the year Pastor Adeboye got born again. This story, one pastor, he is a spiritual son to Pastor Adeboye. I've told you this story before. He was the one who said this story. When he wanted to marry in 1988, he went to Pastor Adeboye, spiritual father, and said, sir, I want you to be the one to officiate my wedding. And said, when do you want to marry? He said, this year. He said, have you fixed date? He said, yes, sir. He said, what's the date? Gave him the date. Opened his diary. He said, he went January 1988. He said, Baba opened his diary and said, I'm sorry. My diary is filled for this year. I'm fully booked. No space, no weekend is free. No, he said the Baba told him that Saturday is booked already. It's not free. He said, okay, sir. Give me any Saturday this year. Then the man went through the whole of his diary, January to December, as of January 1. No free Saturday. He said, sir, okay, check next year. The man checked 1989. No free weekend. He said, okay, sir, check 1990. The man checked, no free weekend, every weekend. True life story. He said, he told the Baba, he said, sir, Emma Ori, any year the batira you marry, any year you have time. He said, don't worry, just give me dates. Any year I will wait. What am I rushing to do? The man, he said, when he got married, so that you know that he's not in a hurry. When he got married, he was the one that packed into his wife's house with 2 nylon bags. How will he be in a hurry to marry? He was in full-time ministry, trying to make ends meet. The wife was working with the government and she had a quarters. He was still struggling around and all of that. So when they got married, he packed his clothes in 2 nylon bags and packed it to his wife's house. But the woman married him. Fast forward years later, when the woman did her 50th birthday, he bought her brand new S-Class Mercedes, 3-point-something million. God has lifted his head. I mentioned the name, some of you may know him, but I won't mention him. God has blessed him tremendously now. May you see the future in the man you should marry. May you not judge him by his today. He said, he told the Baba, he said, any year you have time, that's where I will marry. He said, that's when the Baba looked at him and said, my son, I will tell you a story you've never heard before. And he started telling me, he said, the year that Pastor Kumi started Deeper Life was the year I got born again. He said that was the year Bishop Idaosa began to take crusades around Nigeria. He said that was around the same year that Obadari began to become prominent. Mention names and names and names and names. He said many of those people were of my age category. He said that was the year I got born again. He said when I eventually knew that God was going to call me into ministry, he said I made up my mind that I will catch up. As of that 1988, when Pastor Aliu was telling him that story, that man, that pastor said he attended a conference that Pastor Kumuyi held. He said that conference, there were about, 5,000 in attendance? Crusade or something, 5,000 in attendance. He said that same year, Holy Ghost Congress, they did Holy Ghost. He said to be excessively generous, 700 participants. And to be excessively generous, say about 700 people. He said, but that Baba said, I have made up my mind. I will catch up. 1988 to now is 31 years. Has he caught up or not? Has he caught up or not? And some people must revolt and say, I will catch up. You are looking at people your age mates, you are looking at some of the things they are doing, and you now can cover your head under blanket and cry and cry and cry. You didn't sleep, you didn't walk, go to school, you didn't go. All my mates, I know HME, as you are crying, they are walking more. Don't gather yourself together and make up your mind. I will what? I will what? Catch up. Let the catch up anointing fall upon your spirit today. Amen. There's an anointing to catch up. There's grace to catch up. Say all your mates, they have graduated. You are still battling with pharmacology and pathology. Hey, life is not always first come first serve. Hello? Life is not always what? First come first serve. May you receive grace to catch up. The VC of UI, when I was here, the VC of UI, there was a professor in his department. That professor taught him. She was still in service when he became VC. The protocol in any gathering is once the VC enters, no other person can enter. this was a professor that taught him. There was a meeting or whatever. He entered and sat down. When the woman came, they didn't allow her to enter. Overtaking is allowed. His own professor. It was when he had inside, he stood up and ran out and said, "Who did you say will not enter? Ah, you don't know this woman. She was the one who groomed us." And he brought the woman in and stood up until the woman sat down. That was our student though. If he didn't come to the rescue, hey, she won't enter anywhere. If you hear that she entered, it's a room. If you hear she entered, it's a room. Ah, how many of you are following me? May your things not be delayed in life. Amen. I say, may your things not be delayed in life. Amen. 8:45, I have not started my sermon. Let me try and start now. Ezekiel 28. Let's see how far we will go. Wherever I stop, I'll pick it up next week. But have you been blessed? I want to charge up your spirit to say, I belong to the assembly of God. The assembly of God, the assembly of Satan cannot run me out. Are you getting my point here? From verse 12. Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyros and say to him, thus saith the Lord God, thou sealest up the sun. Now this is talking about Lucifer. Thou sealest up the sun, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Did you hear that? Thou sealest up the sun, full of wisdom and what? Perfect in beauty. All wise, completely beautiful, full of wisdom, perfect in beauty. That is the description of Lucifer. You say you are wise, you are wise, you are wise. Lucifer, God made him that way. God made him perfect in beauty. All these ones that you have to put on your lip, put on your eye, put everywhere before everything will match. Lucifer, Bible said, is perfect. Do you know the meaning of perfect? Perfect means so good it cannot be improved upon. God loaded him with beauty to a point that even God could not find any way to add anything again. God, in all of his majesty, could not add anything to Lucifer to make him more beautiful. Oracle, perfect in beauty. This one that you have to make up for the rough patches with your concealer and with your foundation, with everything. Them move everywhere. Lucifer, perfect. God created him that way. No other creature. Full of wisdom. I want to show you so that you understand where the assembly of gods are coming from. Those evil forces that are militating against the assembly of God, I want you to understand where they come from. There are only two scriptures where Bible talks about the former estate of Lucifer: Ezekiel 28 and Isaiah 14. But let's focus on Ezekiel 28 now. He said, thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Lucifer was the only angelic being that was permitted an entrance into Eden. I want you to see how special God created this crazy Lucifer. Bible says, every precious stone was thy covering. Every precious, not only one, every precious stone. The sardius, topaz, diamond, beryl, onyx. I won't cut out here, but names of precious stones we've never heard before. Jasper, sapphire, emerald, carbuncle, gold. All these ones that gold everywhere. It is part of Lucifer's natural covering. Once Sisino aware, it was built inside him. Have you seen precious stone before how shiny it is? That is the appearance of Lucifer. It's covering every precious stone. Does that one need to add any earring or any necklace? Oh no, that only. His covering was every precious stone. Lucifer is the real definition of expensive. You say, I am an expensive lady. Oh, expensive to Lucifer. You are not as expensive as Lucifer. At all. How many original gold products have you used in your life? Gold is expensive. It's not gold coated that you use. At all. Not I'm expensive. Is it not gold coated you've been using all your life? You bought one original gold product. That one bad. Every precious stone was discovered. Bible says that the workmanship of your tablets and thy pipes was prepared in the day that was created. All musical instruments, all forms of falsetto and alto and bass, everything inside it, bass, guitar and violin and trumpet. When it begins to sing, you hear an orchestra. That was how God created Lucifer. Listen, can there be any other being more glorious than this? They should go. May you not mess up in the place of your destiny. Amen. If God does this one for you, you will rebel. I won't go to buy the kind of forces that are fighting with you must be serious for you to rebel. The kind of forces fighting you must be greater than you. All forms of, yet when he starts, he himself quiet with all forms of instrument. And the Bible now says, verse 14, this one is the one that scares me the most. He said, thou art the anointed cherub that covered it, and I have said thee so. You don't understand. Bible says that in heaven there are living creatures, there are elders and all of them, right? Many of those people, they cast their crowns and they are bowing. Holy, holy, holy Lord God Almighty. Holy, holy, holy Lord God Almighty. Holy, holy, holy Lord. And the Bible says there are some sets of angels that move around the throne of God. And each time they behold his face, they shout holy. And they go around again and come back. Holy. They go again. And they've been doing that from eternity up until now. We keep doing that till eternity, because every time they behold the face of God, they see a dimension of holiness they have never seen before. Can you imagine how many years are you using on that you say you've known God? There is more to know. The angels that have been looking at it. Listen, God help me to explain this. Bible talks about some angels. Those are the cherubs. When Bible describes the cherubs, Bible said they have 6 wings, right? These 6 wings have 2 to cover their face, 2 to cover their hands, and 2 to cover their feet. You know why? They dare not behold the face of God. They cover their faces with wings. Even the ground where God's throne is, they dare not step on it. They cover their feet with wings. He said with 2 wings, the one around their hands, with 2 wings they fly. And their feet are covered with, in case they fall down mistakenly. Their leg must not touch where God dwells. So even their feet is covered with wings. You get what I'm saying here? They covered their face with 2 wings, covered their feet with 2 wings, 2 wings around their hands with which they fly. But there is one cherub. It was not just a cherub. Bible calls him the anointing. It was the only agent that carry anointing. You know the meaning of anointing? A portion of God. That was how Lucifer was created. The anointed cherub. Not only that covered it was the covering of the throne of God. It was the only angel that looked perpetually at the face of God without shaking. You know there is a measure of rudeness that comes upon you when you can see the center of your father's head. How many of you know what I'm talking about? How many of you know what I'm talking about? There's a measure of pride and rudeness that may come upon you when you are looking at the center of your family. You know, you are going past once more. He was the only angel that will perpetually behold the throne of God. Behold, he didn't cover his own face with anything. He mounted above the throne of God. In fact, when you read Ezekiel 20 from verse 1, the Bible mentions that he himself had the throne. But let me continue. I have said this, so that was the only mountain of God. It was the only angel only that was on the holy mountain of God. And Bible said, you have walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Where other angels could not tread, they had to cover their feet with stone. Lucifer was the only one walked to and fro. And I see what he was doing in heaven is what he is still doing, walking to and fro. Busybody. Arrow Pali. Thank God for your people can abuse. They can't be do. Only God knows. God created some people specially. He walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. That's why you don't understand why Lucifer can never repent. Let me explain to you. He heard that God is sending him to hell, but he doesn't believe that anything will happen to him in hell. Me that I walked up and down the stones of fire in heaven is now lake of fire. You want to use and threaten me? God, me and you. Goes. Very daring, right? But look at what happened. Verse 15. Thou was perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created, till iniquity was found. Indeed. Many times you don't understand, and I'll explain to you. I mentioned that the assembly of gods, there is a spiritual assembly where evil is designed, and there is a physical assembly where evil is what? Devised. Do you get now? So in the spirit realm, they decide on what is going to happen, and then they minister inspiration to people on the earth to come and carry them out. This was what happened. Lucifer rebelled in heaven, iniquity was found in him. So Lucifer defiled heaven. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Lucifer, as it were, defiled heaven with sin. The present heaven where God is has been defiled with sin. God purified it by sending Lucifer out, but yet it is defiled with sin. That is why at the end of times it is not only new heart. Bible said there will be new heaven and new earth, because even heaven itself is contaminated with sin. Or let me say, had been contaminated with sin before God purged it. Do you understand that? So what happened was Lucifer rebelled in heaven. So he was cast out with his tail. He drew 1/3 of the angel, which means he rebelled with 1/3 of the angel. And then that was when he inhabited the here. Are you getting what I'm saying? Now that's the place that we call now the second heaven. That is why he is now called the prince of the power of the here. Now began to cause chaos on the earth. That's why between Genesis 1:1 In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Between that place and where you read the earth was without form and void, there was space of time. Because God does not create anything that will be without form and void and full of darkness. God created the earth perfect. It was the rebellion of Lucifer that caused chaos on the earth. So God now came and said, let there be light. When God said, let there be light, that light is not sun. Don't get it wrong. Because you will see that on the third day, Bible said God sent light in the firmament, the sun, the moon, and the stars. So what was the first light? That light was God himself. In the beginning was the word was God, the word was God, Abi. And later I say in him was light, and this light was the life of men. This light is what gave life to everything. That's why I tell people, when they teach you photosynthesis, don't be deceived. It is not sunlight. There is a life-giving light. It is the Son of God. Time will not permit me to go into some of these things. Science will teach you wrongly. You say, am I arguing with science? Listen, science only gives explanation to what is. They don't know what caused what is. So they only try to explain. Take for example, science will tell you horseshoe kidney. When there are complications, the person dies, right? And usually they don't live more than around 40, and it is hereditary, Abi. I think they say if one parent has it, the children will also have it, something like that. But there are generational causes. So people in the family, all of them are dying before 40. Basically, I say it's all shoe kidney, all shoe nonsense. Can't do deliverance, all shoe kidney. So it's the way their family is. That's why they die before 40. Science will give you that. See, if you want explanation, science will give. One of the best things medicine can do for you is to give you a name for your disease. They will just call one complicated name like that. Some of those things have no cure. Clinical adenocarcinoma. How about Bayi? Spiritual realities are greater than science. So listen, Lucifer rebelled in heaven. So what happened was, the first thing that God did, God purged heaven, sent him out. Then he caused chaos on the earth. Then God came down and rebuilt the earth. Now he has established a kingdom of operation, the prince of the power of the air. He needed a representation on the earth. But he still had a valid passport to the garden of God. So he entered, deceived man, caused man to fall, and from there began an assembly of gods on the earth. This assembly of gods are men that will come men of timber and caliber, but that are under the rule and the operation of the prince of the power of the air. Some of them are willing agents, some of them are unwilling agents. It is not all of these people that are willingly carrying out demonic agenda. Some of them are just not born again. They don't know what is controlling them. You've not seen some of those crazy men, senators, stinky rich because they've stolen a lot of money. See a beautiful girl, they call her, they say, hello, how are you? This is Senator so and so talking. I want you to be my friend. A friend. Sorry sir, you are my father's age mate. Why are you acting as if you don't know what's up? I'll give you 10 million. No sir, I'm sorry, I'm a Christian. 20 million. Actually sir, I don't do things like that. It's a sin against God. 30 million. They won't argue, they'll just keep calling figures. Say actually sir, it's not right. 40 million. Actually, I'm the direct biological daughter of Bishop Oyedepo. 50 million. Actually, I'm married. 60 million. My husband is a pastor. 70 million. I will be ordained next week. 80 million. Just keep calling figures. The money is there. They are just looking for lies to destroy. He may not be an agent of darkness as far as a witch or a wizard, but there is a system working inside him. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Remember that teaching that my friend did, where he said when God brought the animals to be named, he said God brought them for impartation. So a portion of God that was on Adam, he imparted them into all the animals. That is why when God wants to teach men lessons, sometimes he uses the picture of animals so that go and learn from the ant. He renews our strength like that of the eagles, right? As bold as a lion. All those things God now uses because a portion of the presence and the attribute of God that Adam carried was imparted into animals. But when Satan came, he contaminated the impartation. Now began to conduct his own impartation. So you begin to see animals that now carry a portion of the impartation. Lions were in Eden, they were not killing human beings. It took an impartation for them to start eating flesh. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Pig in Eden was not dirty. It took a negative impartation for pig to now carry the attribute of hell and become dirty. Snakes were not venomous. It took a negative impartation. That's why when you look at your life and you are exhibiting traits of negative impartation, like the example he gave, he said start from your kitchen. When you check, you know what impartation has been conducted over your life. Make sure you don't exhibit any traits of this negative impartation. But that negative impartation is not just to exhibit traits in your life. They want to use the capacity of God placed on your inside to exhibit themselves on the earth. That was why the descendants of Cain, who had no God, they became instructors in music, they became the father of craftsmen, they became all sorts of things. The ones that were descendants of Seth that God placed the blessing upon became nothing. So it means when any descendant of Seth wants to learn engineering, he has to go to a descendant of Cain. When any descendant of Seth wants to learn music or art, he has to go to descendant of Cain. And by the time of Noah, Bible said the whole earth was filled with evil. Why will the earth not be filled with evil? Why will the earth not be filled with evil? We are there today again. Christian musicians going to copy beats from the world. We are there. Going to learn from the descendants of Cain. Classical example. It's a good song, go. We go there. It's pop champagne. Let's not lie to ourselves. Let's not lie to ourselves. Here are some songs that they sing in churches today. I wonder, wait, for God's sake, how is this one a song of worship? They say let's worship the Lord. Let's worship the Lord. Let's give him praise. How is that one a worship song? He said that one is because it's danceable song. Oh yeah, let's worship God. Me, I know, go so far. I no go beg for bread. Just worship it. Worship him with me. I no go suffer. I know that Jimmy. Just few days ago, was it the guy I was talking to? I said all this crazy thing that they brought recently. That I said, what was that nonsense? It's not new. It's an ancient crusade language. Those of you that have been exposed to CSC, we used to say it. When there is night vigil, you are standing for 7 hours. The prophet or the pastor leading the prayer will say, "We are gbese, kawe mere is okay. Gbese. Wa pariwo orúkọ Jésù ní ìbá. Gbese níbi tó dúró sí." It has been an old church language. One crazy guy brought it, invented it, and made it look like a language of the world. So today, if on a crusade field, a pastor or a prophet says gbese, people will say, "Ah." And I see some Christian musicians, worship leader, starts leading worship and praise in the church, and he starts shouting, they say, "Ah, this one shackles over. Putting chain on your own hand." Some guy on his wedding day, Don't know if anybody saw that picture. He was trying to do that one that they will jump up and throw their leg. Why you not let that? Well, like that, the God catch him. And if I was it, don't. Let's round up. I didn't get to preach my sermon today. Next week, we will get on it. But it's still the same thing we've been saying. What are you going to make out of your life? What territory can God trust you with? Or talk about the invasion mandate. We have territories, we have altars, we have thrones. Which one are you taking? Is it a territory you want to take? Is it an altar you want to take? Is it a throne or a combination of any of the three? Will you go to a land and stake your foot in that land and say, here we are, in the name of God, we take over? Like Joshua, everywhere the sole of your foot shall tread, I give to you. And you begin to walk to and fro the length and breadth of the land and say, I take this city for Jesus. Esto, Kaziza, Jinipros, Koko, Isazende, Kostoy. I take this land for Jesus. Give me this land or I die. And you begin to minister to men, raise people to take over the land from different fields. Are you going to raise an altar and say, well, it's an altar that I'm going to minister and I'm going to minister to men and put the power of Bible calls it, oh Lord, help me. Give me 5 minutes. Bible calls it the power of an endless life. Many people don't understand. Bible said when Jesus was crucified, God raised him with the power of an endless life. You know what the power of an endless life means? The power of a life that cannot be ended. So what they didn't know was that when they were crucifying Jesus, there was a power called the power of an endless life. His life could not end. So even when he got to the place of death, life was still in him. So he said, oh death, where is your sting? That same power of an endless life is what God has put inside us. If God has called you to raise altars, how will you stand behind the altar and raise men, put inside them this power called the power of an endless life to go and invade for Jesus, to go and take over for Jesus? This power of an endless life to run homes that will glorify God. You don't understand power of an endless life? Some of you that are engaged there, when you marry, you will tell your wife, I love you with the power of an endless life. It cannot end. It's the power of an endless life. How will you stand behind altars? How will you mount thrones and sit on them in the name of the Lord? Time will not permit me to show you Psalm 26, where David began to invoke the judgment of God on himself. He said, I have sat in the assemblies of God, but I have not walked in their ways. He said, judge me now, oh God. Can you walk your own to a point that you stand one day and say, God, come and judge me? Some of you say, when we talk about rapture, you are afraid. You will have to go back to the Bible and study up on grace and say, yes, yes, I'm born again, I have nothing to fear. But this was a man in the Old Testament who stood up and said, God, come and judge. The day I read it, I told myself, I have not reached that point. When we did it, by yourself, God did not trouble you. You by yourself, now so and say, God, come on. You know what you are asking for. But this man was confident that I have sat on this throne and I have honored God with it. I have sat on this throne and I have pushed the agenda of God, and I can invoke God's judgment upon my life, and I'm going to come out clean. May God raise you up like David. David was the only man in scriptures that occupied the 3 seats apart from the Lord Jesus Christ: prophet, priest, and king. Prophets were behind the altars, priests were behind the territories, kings were on the thrones. Prophets were the ones. Sorry, priests were behind the altars. Prophets were behind the were manning the territories, and kings were sitting on the thrones. So prophets were territorial in nature. Priests, they were the ones managing the altar, the sacrifice, and all the things, and kings were on the throne. If you read the Bible very well, David ate from the showbread that only priests were supposed to eat from, even carried the effort, and he didn't come from the family of Levi, yet God did not judge him. God did not judge him. That's why I like when Bible now says, I will have mercy on whom I will have. He said it's the sure mercies of David. Sure mercies. According to the law, anybody that is not a priest that eats the showbread must be killed. It's sacrilege. Imagine the tension in heaven when David heard that thing. One busybody angel now ran to God. Desecration in the temple, sir. Desecration in the temple, sir. Desecration in the temple, sir. God said, what happened? He said, one stupid boy ate the showbread, sir. One stupid boy ate the showbread, sir. He said, what are you waiting for? Go and kill him. He said, yes, sir. And he's good. He said, wait, who is the person? He said, actually, sir, his name is David. Which David? David, the son of Jesse. He said, hey, my own son David? Yes, sir. Come. If your son eats bread, can you kill him? We'll go and sit down somewhere. And we have mercy. Whom we have mercy. David joined bands of prophets, prophesied, entered into the three realms. One man in his lifetime. And up till tomorrow, Jesus is referred to as the son of David. Son of God. Now call him son of David. No other, they did not refer to Jesus as son of any other or son of David. In fact, every time people wanted to invoke the mercy of God, blind, lame, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus, thou son of David, thou son of David. In fact, the keys of heaven, he that openeth and no man shutteth, that shutteth no man openeth. Bible calls it the keys of David. The dwelling of God in heaven was called the tabernacle of David. The body of Christ, rather, is called the tabernacle of David. The whole of Israel is called the house of David. The throne of God in heaven was named after David, the throne of David. The Bible says that the throne of David will not lack a seed that will sit upon it. We know that Israel today has no seed of David, but Jesus is the seed of David that sits on the throne forever, and that throne is named after David. In fact, when Bible was talking, Bible said that David will rule over Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. Bible mentioned it like that. And I have this crazy picture in my head that place that they call bosom of Abraham, the day that David died. When he entered, Abraham said, oh God, you have arrived. By prophecy. In Jeremiah, when God was talking, God said in those days, I will make the entire house of Israel to be as David. After God said it, God said, wait, what will now happen to David? He now said, and David as God. A man became gold standard. God said, I will make the whole house of Israel to be like David. God now said, wait, if I make them like David, then what will make David special? He said, what will I do? There was no other promotion for David but to be as God. That is what the assembly of God is on the earth. Everywhere you get to, may you stand there and be as God.
Amen.
I'm going to round up on this note. I think I've done enough tonight. There's a lot bubbling forth on my spirit, but we'll leave it till next week. But I want to pray for you. May you enjoy the sure mercies of David.
Amen.
May you take territories for Jesus.
Amen.
May you mount thrones for Jesus.
Amen.
May you service altars for Jesus.
Amen.
May you be a force to reckon with on this earth.
Amen.
May your life count for greatness.
Amen.
I want you to lift up your two hands, rounding off already. There are three things that I hear in my spirit to declare upon you. Ayadabala brosotolia mama shandalia rakatuli maila noveliana. I stand as appointed in the spirit. Akostebo simanto katilandi kikitata kezezezuzale kerua papatose. Let the catch-up anointing come upon you today. Everywhere you have been lagging behind. Ando Peter, Sasile Brokoto Kata. Everywhere others have overtaken you. Mande desese. Ilambroto sosose. Kekotombre gedeya. Prombri kata kata kata. Oh, Japala Keriandoze. Didatande keti. Catch up anointing will come upon your spirit today in the name of Jesus. Amen. You will catch up. Amen. You will catch up. Amen. You will catch up. Amen. Number 2, I hear my spirit to declare upon you. Abados ebedos setobri akatanda dos sapaigaba. I declare upon you tonight the takeover anointing. Amen. The takeover anointing. Amen. Altars, thrones, and territories, you take over. Amen. Altars, thrones, and territories, you take over. Amen. Altars, thrones, and territories, you take over. Amen. You will not be a low life. Amen. You will not be a servant in this life. Amen. You will not be subservient to the descendants of Cain. Amen. You will not have to bow to vagabonds in your life. Amen. The Lord will lift up your head on high. Amen. And cause you to take over. Amen. To take over for Jesus. Amen. In the name of Jesus. Amen. The third one I hear is strange. There are some people they call social media influencer. Those ones influence the trends in social media. They determine what is trending per time. They determine what is going on, right? They determine the top stories. But I hear in my spirit kingdom influencers. Amen. God will take you over and use you to influence this earth. Amen. You will determine the trending fashion. Amen. You will determine the trending music. Amen. You will determine the trending research. Amen. You will determine the trending practice in your field. Amen. Oh, shatedo frega this telegom brokoscopia. And the koto brigade. You will determine the trend in politics. Amen. And the boss as a bracket keteri. I have Jesus, let there be a distribution right about now. Grace and anointing of an influencer. Amen. The grace and anointing of an influencer. Amen. Grace and anointing of an influencer. Distribute portions right now, oh God, upon people to enter into different fields and become influencers for you. Place upon their spirit a field of endeavor. Be it the corporate world, be it the health sector, academic sector, in ministry, in music, in entertainment, different fields of life. Jambo Sokoto, in fashion, Biridombo Sosoya, Akatuedede, Zizi Lastaya, Poste Ketola, Landro Paskele Suzampaya, Urante Sikatonda Ikapuria, Sando Lekedunde Ikakonde Likakaria Takazuza. Thank you because you have done this, oh God. We give you praise and we give you glory. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen. Father, we thank you for the efficacy of your word tonight. We ask Jesus that you seal up these words and let there be manifestation with evidence. Let the lives of everyone count for this, oh God. And let greatness break loose from our spirits. Thank you, Heavenly Father. As we gather next week, oh God, prepare our spirits to receive more from your word. and propel us further as we run this mandate to invade the world for you. Blessed be your name, O God. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. That amen was not good enough. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Praise the Lord.